Can you hear me? You're unmuted.
Yes, we can, Teresa. Thank you for joining us. Hope you're feeling better.
I know I don't sound very clear. I'm going to stay muted in case I start having a coughing fit. So.
Well, sorry about that again. Thank you for joining us. Looks like we're all set though with our TIF documents. Okay, welcome to the Atkins City Council meeting for November 26, 2024. We'll begin with a Pledge of Allegiance. We ask all rise.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we'll begin with the roll call. Let me first adjust the microphone since Teresa's online. We'll distribute these. Thank you. Okay, with the roll call, we would have Trevor Dursky.
Present.
Samantha Peterson.
Present.
Jim Kane.
Present.
And EJ Bell.
Present.
And David Fisher has announced he would be absent for this evening. Okay. Thank you everyone for joining us tonight. Prior to approval of the agenda, we do have an amended agenda to add an item. The agenda has been posted to the regular posting locations. We have item 7A, a resolution establishing an internal loan for the fire station planning and design costs. This was noticed and required later today, or earlier today, I should say. And we'd just like to note that would recommend a motion to amend the agenda for the following reasons. And I have some information here from our city attorney, Doug Herman. Item 7A was added within 24 hours of the meeting at 4:30 p.m. today, November 26, 2024. After learning of the need for the agenda item at 3:30 p.m. today, on advice by legal counsel, the council will be asked to amend the agenda. If adding to the agenda, the council should find that good cause exists to add the agenda item at this time, that failure to do so would cause a significant adverse financial impact to the city, that the failure to include the agenda item was an oversight and a result of understaffing, that the agenda item proposed to be added is not an item that has been controversial in the past, and that the public would not be prejudiced by this late addition of this item, and that deferring the item to a later date is not possible due to the December 1st TIF certification deadline. So all that being said is resolution establishing internal loan allows the city to not borrow as much money in the future. Essentially, in a nutshell, it was an item that was also approved last year at this time prior to certification, and allows the city to recover or have those funds received via TIF instead of borrowing. So
Mayor, could I add
yes, please.
just a hair to that explanation to the rest of the council?
Yes, please.
It was my misconception, I guess, but I looked at last year's filing of the TIP certification, and that resolution, along with the other two resolutions that you'll be acting on, they were all stapled together in the TIP certification that I got as a copy. And so I just thought that that all went to the county as one item, and so what was on the agenda was going to cover what you needed to have covered. So that's why the last minute detail kind of had to happen.
All right.
But
Okay.
help me understand how this saves us from borrowing, or from bonding, I don't know.
Well,
Is that what you described?
Correct. Yep.
and I think what he's trying to say is it was part of what Maggie Berger had replied as into one of her emails to us. If you remember right, we had those 2 years ago, and then last year again, you did that pre-levy where we were able to levy what we needed for planning and design, and then that would all be included into the borrowing that you're going to be borrowing anyway. And so instead of redoing those other two borrowings, it's just all going into that one borrowing that you approved here a month and a half or 2 months ago or something like that. Does that answer your question? I'll see if I can find her email if you'd like me to.
It's just tough without a schedule to see what,
Without a
What
schedule,
balance?
what do you mean by that?
well, what balance we're adding to, what balance we're taking away, where the excess is.
Well, you're not adding to any balances or doing anything. All this is doing, we're not borrowing any more money. We're not changing anything. This is just telling the county. If we didn't tell the county that you already approved this a year ago or when we did the budget several months ago, we wouldn't be able to collect the tax dollars for it. So that's all this does.
Oh, okay.
So-
This is a previous,
Yeah, you've already done all the other borrowing and all the mechanisms and mechanics that you had to do clear back months ago during budget time, and then here a few months ago after the new budget started. So this is just how we're going to be able to collect the money. We have to be able to certify it to the county. That's all this report's doing. And so this resolution is just saying we're going to be including it in the report. You included the first $125,000 you did as a pre-levy, and then last fall when we did the budget that you're in right now, you did another 125. So I have to do another resolution for the second 125. That's all this is.
okay. I think I remember the conversation about a year ago about this.
Right. And what?
Yes.
And to your question about how does it reduce the borrowing, the TIF allows us to have the revenues come straight from property or tax revenues.
Mhm.
If we did not have the 125,000 in that manner, then we would have to pay the 125,000 some other way. Typically, it would go on the loan for the fire station. So it allows us to gather it immediately rather than borrowing over the number of years.
Okay.
So, and it's an internal loan.
In fact, even Amy had asked, and I had asked someone else whether we even had to do this again because of the way I read last year's resolution, and this is just the extra safety precaution to make sure that we don't.
We should have covered it last year, we
From
just want to
putting
double
money
check and
in
make
it.
sure that it's in this resolution, right, Teresa?
Yeah, right.
Okay, so I guess the first motion we'd ask for is an approval to amend the agenda to add item 7A, resolution establishing an internal loan for the fire station planning and design costs. It's part of the TIF work that we,
Because the prior one was 2023-11-2. Passed unanimously last November. TIF debt certification for Steve Atkins. No, sorry, 11-4. 11-2 was the TIF debt certification. 11-4 was the internal loan.
correct.
So this is that same action. We're just doing
Yes,
it.
we're just
again.
reinforcing it on this document here that goes to the county this year, that it was missed
Okay.
because of the paperwork. Mostly that's a staffing thing. It wouldn't have been missed if we'd had better staffing in our office, but
Well,
So I mean, I'm just trying to clarify if it's what the aggregate effect is.
mhm.
It sounds like it's nothing. It's just 125 internal loan that was already approved, but we're
We didn't
catching up
use
the
it.
paperwork with the county or through the debt certification. Okay.
Right. The email says, that updated TIF certification. Teresa, we can only certify the 125 for the internal loan for the TIF. The GO pre-levy has nothing to do with TIF. The council first had to approve if the council first approves the fire internal loan, then we can certify the second attachment, which is another one of the, things that is included in your packet. So that's exactly right. It just misstates and evidently didn't get certified.
Hey Teresa, just so I have one more clarification, this isn't the one that affects the taxes, correct? Since we already did the other ones that affected the taxes.
Correct.
So
motion to approve the amendment to the agenda.
we have a motion. Do we have a second to amend? To amend the agenda, then we'll vote on the amended agenda, and then we will proceed on to actually approve the resolution in 7A. So this will. We have a motion to amend the agenda in the second. This should have feedback controversial to other unanimous approval of the same resolution.
Have unanimous approval of the project. I just want to clarify on this specific issue why we're considering it not controversial, even though some might say that the fire station project itself was.
This action is not, I mean, it's normal. You have to borrow or incur debt to use to gather TIF monies. So that's why we have the loan.
We're not talking about specifically the quote that the advice we have from legal advice, the legal counsel to do this amendment. And I guess that's how I'm reasoning that we meet those requirements.
motion to amend Trevor Dursky.
Aye.
Samantha Peterson.
Aye.
Jim Kane.
Aye.
EJ Bell.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, with that, we'll now take a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Motion to approve the agenda.
Second by Peterson. Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Trevor Dursky.
Aye.
Samantha Peterson.
Aye.
Jim Kane.
Aye.
EJ Bell.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, item number 3, consent agenda approval is requested. Approve the city council minutes of November 12th, special session, regular session, November 13th, special session, and list of bills for approval.
Motion to the consent agenda.
Do we have a motion? Do we have a second, anyone?
Second. I do have a question.
Okay, any comments, questions?
For the laptop for the office,
Yes.
I'm sure I remember talking about it, but was that how many laptops we got?
Um,
2 or 3? Is that everybody?
It's one laptop.
Oh, that's not the thing about.
Right. And that, well, there's the setup fees and all the software goes on. As well as the, what it is for is to allow the remote vendors, consultants to connect into our system.
So it's not just the laptop, it's all the software and all the stuff.
Correct. And it, in the past, we'd been using one of the laptops off of the workstations off the existing desk locations. But since we have Terry now, she needs to use hers all the time as well as Amy. So we have no one with a free resource to do that. So, and it's a backup too, in case anything were to break in the office, be an immediate backup that way.
That also includes all the licensing and stuff for our software program specimen groups.
Right,
That's
whatever.
how we get it through Access Systems, but they come in and set it up for us, and then we cover all of our licensing.
Correct, and the monthly,
Monthly
or maintenance, yearly and monthly, whatever that is. Any further questions? Okay, hearing none, roll call vote. Trevor Dursky.
Aye.
Samantha Peterson.
Aye.
Jim Kane.
Aye.
EJ Bell.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay. Now we'll begin the annual reports that are due December 1st. There's a slew of them here. And this was a resolution approving the annual urban renewal report. And I'll ask Teresa if you would describe, summarize that particular report, if you're able to.
Sure. The annual urban renewal report is a cash basis report, and it addresses your urban renewal areas, any developer agreements you may have, any debt you may have outstanding for that area, and we are to annually prepare this report and give it to the state, and, they have it on the Department of Management's website, they have every city, every county out there, they have everyone's report out there, if anyone would like to look at them. But it's by taxing district, and we have to, respond with what kind of tax revenue we get per, taxing TIF district, and, basically tell them any kind of debt or anything like that that we have going projects, if we have any LMI projects, if we have any, developer jobs that include, that had received some state money that might have included, job money, and they have to report back to you regarding your jobs or any of that type of thing. So, that report was completed and it's ready to be submitted to the state once you approve it. It has to be submitted by December 1st. And, you can't collect any property taxes next year until we get that submitted. So, the report is done, and, I believe you have a copy of it. I hope you have a copy of it.
Yes,
Thanks, Teresa.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
It's included in our,
Any questions about that? Yeah, do you have any questions about that report?
What's the difference between rebate and non-rebate expenditures?
A rebate is obviously usually something that someone's paid their taxes and you're giving them money back to them. A non-rebate would be you're paying, a debt service, you're paying a debt service payment possibly. You maybe are paying, someone upfront, instead of as a rebate, and, you're paying that towards them. If you're paying or using TIP expenditures to help towards any of your administrative expenses towards TIP and economic development, that would be in the non-rebate, portion of the payment. Trying to think of the other ones that I may have had, but mostly it's debt payments and, administrative expenses or legal expenses you may have paid, throughout the year.
Okay, thanks.
You bet.
okay. With that, do we have a motion to approve the resolution, or approve the annual urban renewal report? No resolution there.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution for the annual report.
Okay. We have a second.
A second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
I got another question for you, Teresa. There's several of these districts that were fairly old with no activity.
Right.
Where are those?
They'll be listed in that report as long as the city has not, passed an ordinance decertifying it as an urban renewal area.
Okay. Is there?
Oh.
Is there a way to get
The older ones out there,
Yes, there is.
is it on?
go ahead.
Teresa, Trubisky was asking if this was available on a map format, and yes, we do have it on a map format. In fact, I believe there's one filed with the state. If I'm correct, Teresa, is that?
Right, and that's part of that report. That's something I had to upload as a map. And I was told that none of your urban renewal areas or urban renewal ordinances or maps had changed since the last year. So I didn't upload any new documents. So Trevor, we should be able to download that map from that report and you should be able to see it.
Okay. Thank you.
And I believe City of Atkins has roughly 15 districts, if I remember right.
That sounds right.
Okay. Any further discussion? Hearing none, the roll call. Trevor Disky.
Aye.
Samantha Peterson.
Aye.
Jim King. And EJ Bell.
Aye.
Motion carries. Moving on to item number 5, a resolution acknowledging the fiscal year ending street finance report. This is a report that has been filed, and I'll ask Teresa to summarize that report.
Sure. This is strictly an annual financial report for your street financing. It has both general fund, road use tax fund, possibly other funds, which in your particular case would be special revenue funds where you're paying benefits out of special revenue fund for your street employees or potential employees. And you also, excuse me, you also list in this report any street projects that were accepted by the council in the past fiscal year. I was told there wasn't. I was told there weren't any publicly bid projects that was accepted during the last fiscal year. And then it also has a couple pages listing of public works equipment or equipment being used in the right of way and on the streets. I did have, and Sandy went through it with, I can't remember the gentleman's name, and I apologize for that. And working with too many public works directors, I'm really getting confused. But that gentleman did go through and look at all the equipment that was listed, had me pull some and add some new, and I did do that for that report. And then I did get an email this morning that says the Department of Transportation has accepted the report for this year already as well. So we did go that completely, and they were happy with it.
Just Chair comments, is that like the name you heard, Teresa?
Yes, sure, yes.
Okay, again, this is acknowledging that the report was filed, and as Teresa mentioned, it has been accepted already. So do we have a resolution acknowledging that has been submitted?
I'll make a motion to accept the resolution.
Okay. So do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Peterson. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Okay. Hearing none, roll call is Trevor Dursky.
Aye.
Samantha Peterson.
Aye.
Jim Kane.
Aye.
BJ Bell.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, moving on to number 6, a resolution acknowledging the annual finance report for FY24. And once again, we appreciate Teresa providing a summary of that.
This was the toughest report, quite frankly, for the city of Atkins. I struggled a great deal with I pulled the last 2 years of annual financial report, so FY22, FY23, and then I was working on FY24. And I couldn't quite match up with the information that is in the financial software that we have to edit those reports. And in fact, then really struggled when we received the state audit for FY23, and we you and I was the cash balance for FY '24. And obvious further investigation needs to move forward, needs to happen, so that I can make sure if things needed to be changed in GWorks, that I get them changed in GWorks. If the state auditors were right, then tell me what was wrong with FY '24 data, because I'm going by the expenditures and revenues that are in our system, and we need to just get down to the nitty-gritty of that. But it too has to be done by December 1st. It too is most important. If we don't have that done, then you folks can't have a budget hearing and you can't have a budget for next year. So it's an absolute must that we get that report done. And Sarah's advice to me was that my best bet was to go with the number I know is right. And I'm trusting Trish on that and the book that I have. And basically work backwards and then try to figure out the differences that occurred in FY '23, FY '22, and now the audit that they just gave you, because the audits from both years don't match any AFR either. So I know that was a really long story, you guys. I hope you follow what I was trying to say. I'm not indicating to you at all that there's any misappropriation or malfeasance or any of that kind of stuff. I have no indication at all. I just know that the last 3 years, based on the reports we have, based on the audit we have, that none of those things matched. And I'd like to understand why. Now, I know when I worked in a city that was modified accrual, that my AFR never matched the audit. So I know that. But in this particular case, you guys are cash. I think that audit was cash. And I'm going to need your support, obviously, because you'll have to tell me to figure this out if you want me to figure this out. But that's where we're at with this report. It's going to be published in the paper on November 30th. It has to be published before December 1st, and it has to be turned in before December 1st. So that's where I ended up for the year.
Where do you suspect the issue may be, just based on your experience?
Well, I had really never experienced this whole GL issue that I experienced with those other cities. Yeah, no, so I don't know if they're going to tell me, because when I asked Sarah, should the balance sheet from like FY '22 and FY '23, should there still really be outstanding liabilities and balance sheet from then? And she said, well, no, unless someone went back and made adjustments in prior years. Or are there adjustments that the auditors have told your city to make the past 2 or 3 years in the book, and adjustments were never made because people didn't do it? That's very, very likely too, very possible too, because they may not have known how to make those adjustments. Known how to?
Do you think some of this possibly could be because of all of the audits and stuff we kind of get going on in parallel with, plus our short staff there? Do you have any idea of what you think it would take? You think we can get this behind us and cleared up before the next fiscal year?
Well, I hope so.
Okay. I think we're unusual because all of the audits and stuff that we're going on are so close together simultaneously. When we're back way up because of that particular audit, and I can see where the changes that we've had.
I'll be ready. Yeah, I'll be ready to do an FY '25.
Yeah. We didn't have that prior to the 2020.
Well, I wanted to get kind of past Thanksgiving. I wanted to be able to, you know,
I think we're going to talk to you.
So just to clarify, I don't need to drag this on, but we need this report submitted by December 1st. But then Teresa's gonna dig into it and do the work to figure out where the problems are, and then we'll amend this. Then we have to get to the bottom of it, we have to have this report done by December 1st, so that's why we're approving this now. Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
And I'll try and keep you guys, I will try, I will keep you updated on how I'm coming with that process. Well, I mean, I'll do what I can. I still haven't got you this financial, so that thing fixing again. Yeah, maybe we'll stop right then and we'll be good. Won't that be awesome? Awesome. I know one of the examples, I mean, for the liabilities that you guys are off, for the liabilities that are still on the book is almost $42,000. And that, that alone would mess you up. One time, I thought I was only going to be about $15,000 off. And then the next time I was $161,000 off. But then I realized that the auditors, I didn't want to count for in the audit that we received under what page it was on, but the non-material things that the fire open assembly. Page 35 or 36 for the audit. Listed the non-material items and what they were. I think I was thinking those should be part of the balance and shouldn't, so then that made me feel better. It's not as bad as that. So, hopefully, we're talking 20 to 40,000. Yeah, thank you. This time of the roll call vote, Trevor Bushman, Peterson, McKean, Richard Bell, motion carries. Item number 7, this is the fifth debt certification. As mentioned earlier, amended item. Item 7, resolution establishing an internal line for the fire station planning and design class. And this item was already turned off as stated previously. 7B, resolution certifying the tip debt certification. I did print those out. You should have them in your table. Appreciate all the work this weekend and the information back and forth. And the parties involved and the clear field. That is the tax and compliance certification to the county auditor. And Tricia, Teresa, if you would like to summarize that document. I'm trying to make sure that she's got everything written on the phone, make sure that Maggie Berger looked at all of these quick documents to finalize everything as well, because I was not comfortable estimating the Stone Ridge Development rebate. She estimated that to be at $150,000. She went ahead and we typed up those resolutions with her, and you put those resolutions in there. They have all those resolutions as well. That's right. Is that true? That's correct. Okay. So on the quick certification, we just have to give to the county the new page of what this increment we're wanting to capture for 25-26, so 2005-2026. And in doing so, we're asking for the increment for development maximum allowed, but the annual appropriation will be adding, we're adding this in there, 150, but we're going to be asking for the principal interest needed for 2015A and 2016A, and then that higher education loan that we talked about. And that's all we really need to do with these documents, but we just have to get those to the county by December 1st as well. Tomorrow's the last day that they'll be open, so that's when we need to get to work. So the total is $384,188 for bonds and pre-budgets. Okay. Everyone goes up to the county tomorrow, if you could. Resolution certifying debt certification. Official title and acronyms for the certification of tax and financing debt to the Livingston Auditor for 2024. This is talking about is the backup to the resolution. Motion to approve the resolution certifying the debt certification motion by Ken. Second by Emerson. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote to Tim King. Kevin Gersten. Commissioner Brown. And Samantha Peterson. Motion carries. Item number 8, resolution obligating the fiscal year ending 2026 annual appropriation for stimulus development. This is an annual appropriation based on supplying funds to the developer for the agreement, the developer agreement dated August 2nd, 2021. Tracy or Jane, let me go through the summary of what the resolution.
The developer's agreement says, there's a maximum allowed, that you would pay each year. And, Larry Berger went through the calculation and, determined that next year's maximum would be no more than $150,000. I think he has to probably prove to you, I will assume he proves to you what he paid for in taxes. And then that's what his rebate is that he gets back. And the calculation of that percentage, but I know your original developer's agreement had a maximum, I think, of $1 million over so many years. And sometimes people don't get that full. They don't never get that high. So, the annual allocation, well, annual language means that any council, every year, you as a council have to take specific action that says we're still supporting that development and we're still rebating the taxes the next coming year. And to do so, then you have to declare what you will give. And you do that for the specific reason that it doesn't affect your debt capacity limit. Only the 1 year amount is what affects your debt capacity limit. That's the thing. No, that's right, and that one I even double checked with the attorneys, I read it, and then I double checked with the attorneys myself, and you're nowhere near ready to declare any type of debt on that one at all. Right, and so that was on,
Yeah, it's not what I'm questioning. I'm just. We did a maximum for the whole project, okay? There are annual maximum where it's considerably lower than that. So periodically, we will do it, and in order to do is get that, we want to reimburse you. What really shows that you guys up to the free stuff dollar amount they want per year. And then at the end of the maximum work we did and we pay out the maximum work we did. Well, still, when we consider the under, but then the dollars that we would have from our free situation and the things that we do. That's versus I have, the position I have, since I brought estimate, I can look at it, and then so I'm just looking at actually like, I'm assuming that we're talking about 11. But as we do like that total amount less, well, the maximum amount would be what would be collected on those specific properties. Right, because, you know, it's not finished yet. Right, so, there's an increment. So here's a big increment that we're going to do from that every year, and we have to be able to collect them now. We'll cover that, so we're still, it's never going to be city money. He provides us bills and we reimburse him after he provides the bill. We collect them that bill in order to do that. Right, so it's a value period. Yeah. It is a different time from yeah, that's like the district. Yeah, it's not that. Yeah, it's a platform of the county increments of my agent completely and that's still factual, but that's what I'm doing. Yeah, that's okay. So, and again, there's a certain tip one, city tip 1, 2, that gives an itemized listing of standards weekly within the district housing number 152. Email incorporation will cost as much as we can receive because these are customers. But the amount listed as estimate is $150,000. However, when the county auditor collects the taxes normally, it may be different. So, well, this is where I'm looking at the interpretation. Yeah, right. This is for pasture. No, it's coming, it's for 2025, 26. Yeah, it's every year we go out. Motion to approve the resolution operating the fiscal year in 2026 and appropriation. Respond, Rich. Motion and second. Hearing none, roll call vote. Trevor Dursky. Samantha Peterson. Jim Cummings. Joe Barr. Motion carries. Moving on to the fun stuff. Discussion regarding the work plan and calendar to prepare the FY26 budget. In your packet is some calendar of suggested dates of meetings. And it's the discussion will take place about that calendar. And this is looking at case of this prepare those open city documents based on the 2 meetings in that subject of Tuesday. And that is both month of January in particular has for the as well as the February and traffic performance in the April 22.
January 4th. I think I agree, but well, I guess I want to maybe even talk to you about that. I did look at like my agreement with you guys, and I think we thought we have a city administrator in place. And you know, my contract is basically monthly reports and some annual reports and some hit and miss stuff. So I'm not sure. I don't know that I listed a whole lot of budget time, but if you really have to budget, I don't mind helping you. It's just going to be added hours, I guess. I did that. I did the calendar. Honestly, guys, just as something to really talk about. I didn't know if you're going to need 4 work sessions. I don't know if you'll need just 1 work session. I honestly don't know. Where you're at, if you've talked about stuff, if you've had any sort of goal setting where you know that, you know, this is what you want to do with. There's not much you, unfortunately, can do with the tax money. They're kind of, you know, not a lot you can do, but I don't know if you have a overall goal in mind. I don't know, but if you wanted me to help with those things, I would certainly do my best to try to be there. I don't know that I could be there every one of those days because I obviously have been getting this calendar for a lot of cities. So, you know, we might have to move stuff around. I think, picking Tuesdays because you meet on Tuesdays. I think that's good. But you know, if you want me to help, I'll certainly do my best to help you. I'm interested to hear your discussion and where things are at with city administrative clerk position. So, I don't know how soon, it could easily prepare budget newspapers next year, not sure council, but they're not sure departments right now, so they can start working on stuff if you want them to do that. That doesn't take me very long to do at all, council. To get them to start talking about stuff, you know, and have them working on things in December if you want them to. I don't know how aggressive you want to be.
Well, I would certainly say that something that John earlier has expressed, so getting those worksheets out, and I would continue to use the format that Teresa has proposed in the past. It's a little different from our typical trust fund. And probably involved into whatever information she was talking about. This one you didn't get into which book? The budget adoption. The public hearing on budget adoption and adoption of budget. What we want to the entire budget? Yeah, we want the public to go out and just work starting at the finish line and working that. If we want the budget adoption hearing and decide not to vote on it or it fails, do we put another hearing then for the next council meeting? What you're saying? What Greg is saying, I think, is that we maybe need to move some of this stuff up a little bit early in case there's some problems on the working right at the very end there. And we're giving some of our help. Let me tell you what. Let me tell you what did change with Senate file 282 or whatever the number will be. You now will have to get your information to the county by 4 p.m. on March 5th. So, as soon as the levy rate, a property tax, the levy rate, they now will have, instead of just 5 days to get the mailing notice out, they're going to have 10 days. So, they still have to have it out by March 15th. The law now says you cannot hold that first public hearing, which is the property tax levy hearing itself, which has to be separate and distinct, if you recall. You can't have that meeting before March 20th. And you can't set the public hearing for your regular budget adoption until you've had that public hearing.
You can do it the same night. So let's just, I'm looking at a calendar, but let's just say you decide you're going to have yours on March 21st because you can't have it before March 20th. So you have your hearing on March 21st for property tax levy notice. That's a separate and distinct meeting. You have that meeting, open, do the public hearing, close, you wait 10, 15 minutes, you open up another city council meeting that same night, and say, we're now going to start our public hearing for our regular budget for, gotta give us 10 to 20 days to publish it, but then we would have a big filter up in April, which is what you're asking for, Trevor. But that's how we would have to mechanically do it. So I was trying, the dates I used for you was just using regular council meeting dates except for still having a special meeting, I think, for your pre-tax levy, or for the levy meeting itself.
Well,
Because I think there's,
the draft deadline on the list is April 30th.
correct.
But we don't recess So, Teresa, can we look at the property tax levy hearing on the 25th? Well, first.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, so then we have a hearing on the 25th. We need to have, as a special session, on the 1st, setting the 8th as the public hearing for the full adoption.
So special meeting on the 1st,
Yeah.
to set it for the 8th.
Yeah.
That doesn't give me enough time to publish it.
How many times do you have on the 10th?
10 to 20, 10 and 20. No less than 10 and no more than 20. That's at least 10 days between.
What is the next Wednesday, on March 26th? We have we set the public hearing date for full adoption.
The very next day.
Yeah.
So, is the 25th a regular meeting or something? It is. And the 26th. You can do them the same night, you guys. Unless you want to at least give me a chance that you're this week or the not this year, I don't want to know. But I don't know if you had people come last year. If you want to at least give yourself time to hear what people say, I don't know. Yeah, but you could have a hearing on the 25th and at your regular meeting on the 25th also set it for the next time.
I mean, I'll just go away, that's comfortable, and if it's intended to be the same, right? Then so,
Okay, that's fine. Okay, I'm here.
There's kind of one thing about my life. I have one year of experience with this. I wish I had more, anybody else has more. But I think we want to leave ourselves room, the biggest thing about that is the first street shift now. First order, we started working on budgets and well, the problem is, and I say what you say, definitely, we want to do everything that's been done. So what we're focusing is that it's by design, well, then we're voting on it last minute, so people are trying to push things through, well, other people don't want to do. So I don't want to do that. So I need to work on it sooner. I agree with the concept of it. I'm sure they will do it. And it sounds like it's real, but I think it's open knowledge into anybody else that has that concern. We're kind of forced into this by the state. Yeah. I mean, we have That's one of the problems that has happened in the past, because there's been a lot less contagion. The general public out there doesn't understand the restrictions that the state puts on all of this stuff, and just very many towns don't publish that because they don't need it. In our case, getting that information out, I think is going to head off an awful lot of this stuff, starting with January 1, when we start doing our first meetings. I don't find this calendar of the real deadlines are, and then take some of our earlier meetings up front. If there's no information, we've got it done, and we're clear with the EOs that we can do another meeting or something. That's what's important. So I feel like the brings what's important to happen is people will go this contention right away, and we're going to for the individual.
I think it's good for me. I like having the order. And I think if we set up these January meetings, I think we improved last year, a process, and this year, it's getting better. And we have a specific meeting for the department, and about half the communication is done. I just think we're maybe one meeting too short, yeah, I think if we just do a good job with these first meetings with the department, and we have the same work.
I'm totally good at this. We're not going to lock this. I'm not willing to lock this down in the end. At this point in time, this is a preeminent CPAP, but you know what we've done.
No, I think it's doable. I mean, my experience we're always pushing that deadline, and it's hard. Social analysis agreement, so if we have a plan to, have the vote earlier, we give it a little early and just not push on it. We have to make a decision because we have a deadline.
I think one of the things that was could be allowed in the very first days that we can do some of this stuff rather than the third days. The earliest days that we said, certainly those to the like this March 12th, 22nd. Just look at that and make sure that that's identified when we can do anything after the 22nd.
Unlikely, nothing trees will ask for an update on what work it is and should research. I feel it's unlikely that we'll have someone in place and ready to lead the budget process for in January. So I know you're activity tree so that if you're voting and you have the time in your schedule, I think it would, I would really like to have her be involved with each step of work to help somebody to, lead the discussion and, you can call over the meeting if you can't be here, if you're able to about something that would be willing to do. So I'm still ready to try.
If you would like to think about it, give us a proposal on it. I think Casey's most natural position on this is helping us with the forms and the filing. I think we should be able to manage where she's in the department and in that conversation. So, like, who else is it? Because I don't think that's something really possible. So I think that's a pretty good attention that shows leadership, that shows connection with the city, with its resources. We generally go through the CEO, we have the great engineering, usually stuff like those things, library repairs for a bunch of items, as far as the green sheet, so to speak. One item coming up is, of course, the fire station there. You have items really looking for glass, and so forth, and fiscal year. So we really have those. So January 9th, we go like that. And my big proposals and Teresa's going out, even if she's not available, because then if she is, or if she would agree with those, then it's going to be more likely on that. Yeah, for the bunch of data to gather at the departments. Just providing we'll have to have meetings with this number as well. Make sure we're still on task and providing information she needs.
I know it's like people right. There's so much value in having, I think that's maybe answering the like to have a, all of that, but it's nice to have a special, like, really have but I appreciate all that.
I'm just saying, I feel like that conversation in generating that list is something that's important for us to understand and for the mayor, but certainly the administrator, since there's no to be involved in that conversation. It seems like that would be a conversation for Teresa to have, because she doesn't really see it either. Now, in terms of your expenditure, she doesn't make sense because these two items going out of this value and it needs to, sure. Those things going to receive expertise she can provide. I think that I just want us to get a better sense as a council, as a team, stewarding
these resources, this is coming together with our knowledge, and our technology that's required, that's creating what's studies to come. That was, during the month of January, it was in our budget workshop, that's where this is an information choices statement. Because the budget request you can even before that. So all the work with the departments that I'm describing happens, so it's number one, but not as far as the June. Some decisions to be made during June. And Teresa, so it sounds like we're gonna need to provide this worksheets that the departments will use. Is that? Yeah, that's okay. I mean, that's okay. I think the main thing that can really help in that conversation is obviously a comparison of what was done in the prior year. What we tried to do that last year. I'm hoping that we've got, we're in a better position to do that this year. Okay. Yeah.
So as far as like setting meeting dates and times or posting agendas and all that.
Well, we can talk about that in the closing sessions for common or something like that. But the criticism that it would not be setting the meeting, it would determine the calendar as far as providing the agendas and things like that. We would do it. So I would imagine the post how physical things that work like that. I guess back to Teresa. Teresa, could you provide us with a proposal that we can do certain dates, or do you want to just kind of go to that fund? Got an idea of what we can talk about that?
I'll think about it. Okay.
I do know that Teresa does value more than for a lot of other cities. So with that, it's a discussion regarding the calendar. We'll look at moving some of those dates. March 21st is a date we can move for that. Right, there's not a lot of meetings after that, so I would say these are the formats that come out of our school leadership. We have announced with your rate as well. Prior to this, we could push things around pretty quickly. Do that. So basically, we're going to budget request, that department, budget request by January 1. Four sections in January, the dates are important. Please remember by the worksheet. We pull out, then we'll work through the other sections. The Teresa is kind of building functions when we're putting out worksheets into the budget format. Okay. We're calculating our meeting.
I'm doing this paper.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so after January, I think it gets a little bit more strictly in terms of dates. There's a lot of still many things that social and social point. Yeah, so I think yeah. Go ahead.
Right, moving to item number 10, this is a resolution approving the street closures for the Atkins Community Club Light and Night Parade. Any further discussion? Voting on, roll call vote, Trevor Durston. Samantha Peterson. Jim Kenny. Jim Brown. Motion carries. Item number 11, it's a resolution promoting possible area fireworks. For discussion, hearing none, Trevor Durston. Samantha Peterson. Jim Kenny. Jim Brown. Motion carries. For health insurance discussion, two items here, this weekend discussion, and health reports and minutes coming out, and health insurance renewals, which goes in the budget.